Hello, Ute here of Trans Widow Ute Hagen YouTube channel and WordPress blog utehagengrasswidow.wordpress.com, always in the notes. I am holding these bouncy flowers here. They are cosmos because I've been waiting for them to bloom all season. I grew them from seed. The plant is something like 7 foot tall. It decided it had to grow that tall before letting me know this is the color of my flowers. I had the possibility also of orange and red. So they will share the screen. I'm happy that they did bloom. It's a little strange. I don't know what I could have done to make them bloom when they were yay high instead of 7 foot. But they can share with me and the lark ascending roses for an otherwise quite sad and dark video, which is my first sort of official video dedicated to the Dead Names project. Exolanzic and I are working kind of separately, but we send each other names that we've heard of those who have died from the iatrogenic harm, that is, the harm from the treatment itself, which is euphemistically called affirmative care. It appears that I'm not going to be able to talk about this with our friend, daughter of a man who thinks he's a woman, Emma. We were both in the film Behind the Looking Glass at Lime Soda Films, which is still accruing many, many more likes and, records of being watched and stuff over there at Lime Soda Films. Next week, Vaishnavi says she's going to release another of our profiles. Okay, so most of the people on this dead names list are way too young and not even the age of 25, more than half of them, which is the age of actual cognitive maturity. So the decisions they were making were not in a stage of being fully cognitively mature. The first name is Griffin Sean Sivert. She was 24. Her given name was Michaela. She died of sepsis after many operations, but the first of which was a so-called step one of so-called phalloplasty, that is, taking typically a length of skin off of the girl's forearm and rolling it up into a tube which is supposed to imitate the male sex organ and cannot actually function at all like the male sex organ, and it turns out it doesn't function very well as the tube out of which urine is supposed to come. And she documented all of her terrible downward health trend on TikTok or something, and that is, of course, available at exolanzic.substack.com. And the second one is Liam Johns, who is a natal female and at age 35 died and of kidney failure. She died after only 1 month on dialysis as her organs were failing. She had brought 2 babies into this world, had complications due to childhood diabetes. That's type 1 diabetes. Doctors, I really don't think you should prescribe wrong sex hormones to anyone who has had type one, childhood diabetes. This is a huge tax on the kidneys to be taking wrong sex hormones and dealing with the insulin issue and pancreatic functioning. So that was Liam Johns, natal female, 35, kidney failure. We don't know her original given name. If anyone has further information from personal friendship, contact, whatever, with the family or with them, please do contact me through my WordPress blog, utahagengrasswidow.wordpress.com, always in the notes. Griffin Sivert, Griffin / Michaela Sivert, lived in Massachusetts. And the next one is a natal male, Yarden Silveira, who was 23. I'm sorry, on some of my posts here and there, I have mistakenly said that he was 24, but he was 23. He was starting to experience sepsis as a result of his blocked colon and his colon protruding out of the skin tube that the doctors at Mount Sinai Hospital in Manhattan and a couple of other hospitals had initiated and then tried to rectify. And he realized that there was no hope for him after Mount Sinai Hospital decided to block him from even entering. So Yarden Silveira, as it appeared sepsis was going to set in at the age of 23, committed suicide. So that's natal male Yarden Silveira, age 23, sepsis / suicide. There is a website you can look up more information about him, which is called Light of Yarden, LIGHTOFYARDEN.org. Griffin, the first one I listed, said quotes like, "I wish I could exercise without my chest hurting." She had done damage to herself from first a binder and then with the double mastectomy scars. I wish I could work without my leg swelling. She had also deep vein thrombosis. She had started taking testosterone at 14 and was a fan of Jazz Jennings. If someone could let Jazz Jennings know that a fan of yours died of sepsis. She had a hysterectomy at age 19. There's a lot of really terrible details. So those are the first three. Then the last three are at age 18, natal male. Died of carbon monoxide poisoning, self-administered. It is believed. He was born in 2005 and died in 2023. And he had only started ideating himself as a female at age 7, at the highest at age 16 or 17. He named himself Theodora, and you can find family pictures by a search under Theadora, Cassidy, spelled the regular way. He apparently grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I believe the second child in a rather large family. It appeared they attended the Lutheran Church, and there were no pictures of him when he was young, looking terribly depressed or wearing ambiguous or female clothing. If anyone has further information about where he went to college, there's one picture where the woman standing next to him has on a Wellesley shirt, and I don't know if that's where he did his freshman year. Apparently he was very smart. He played the piano, and he was in some kind of a marching band in high school. Um, and so that is Samuel Walter Cassidy, took on name Theodora, dead at the age of 18, natal male. Now, his death will probably be counted by the Trevor Project individuals as uh, someone who committed suicide due to transphobia, and we just really don't know that. It's entirely possible that he was not only taking estrogen, but he might have been taking finasteride, which is a very deadly, dangerous drug given commonly to these college kids to prevent hair loss. And the Finasteride Foundation has already established that this is a very, very dangerous drug, and there are over a dozen suicides that are attributed directly to finasteride. In Europe, they're starting to have very stark warnings on the packaging. I don't know what's going to happen here in the States. Then we have the unknown 18-year-old natal male who was in the Dutch study, published by De Vries, Steensma, and Cohen-Kettenus in 2014. His death was immediately after the surgery in, of course, the high-tech hospital in the Netherlands. They tried to use part of his colon as the so-called neovagina, and the E. coli material that was in the colon spread into his body and caused sepsis, and he was a death in that study, which was published in 2014. He probably died in 2012. So that is age 18, unknown name, male, sepsis. Now we have from the Journal of Pain and Symptom Management. I guess this is Dr. Tyler Murphy of the Mayo Clinic. And this was one of the strangest research pieces I have ever read. It was a one-person, one-subject case study of whether or not hospice care places are providing the necessary, sensitive care for those who are dying, who are also ideating the opposite sex and are called trans. This was a 62-year-old natal male on his way out of life on this earth due to liver and gallbladder cancer, most likely age 62, unless he was a heavy smoker or something like this. Our unknown name was probably using estrogen and possibly finasteride for decades, and therefore, because of this iatrogenic harm, got liver and gallbladder cancer. Dr. Tyler Murphy concludes his one-person, one-subject study with the sentiment that unknown name 62 dying of liver and gallbladder cancer, now unresponsive, should have had more time of the hospice staff because they had stopped shaving his face and they had stopped applying, in quotes, her makeup. Now, my mother died in hospice in 2019. Nobody was putting lipstick on her face when she was on her way out of this world in her last 48 hours. Actually, no one was combing her hair. She was lying there on morphine with her mouth open, unconscious, and I assume that unknown natal male, age 62, about 6 years younger than me, was probably also looking just like that. But Dr. Tyler Murphy, in his opinion, is objecting to the terrible crime of misgendering a dying man and not putting his eyeshadow on him. Yes, let's all go for a walk.